two guests are joining me on this story. To begin with, Yoni Yagodevsky, who's the Director of the International Relations at the Magen David Adom, and also John Spencer, who's the Chair of the Urban Warfare Studies at Colorado. Coming to you first, Yoni, what we are seeing, a lot of damage that is being done in Israel. A lot of buildings have now collapsed. There's a lot of debris that is taking place. Somehow, this is a damage which we have not seen before. A lot of damage being caused.
Yeah, several missiles were able to pass through the Israeli defense systems and cause damages in some areas in the center of Israel. And unfortunately, also hurting people. 3 civilians were killed and others were injured. Most of them, fortunately, in a minor level of injuries, and were evacuated by Magen David Adom emergency medical teams to nearby hospitals. We are in a state of alert. It's been going on for more than 24 hours. Through the past experience and exercises that we have been conducting with our peers at the Israeli police, fire department, and the home front command of the IDF, the medical system, we are providing the necessary treatment to those who need to be treated throughout the country.
Right. Coming to you now, John. You know, this is an escalation which has happened barely in the past 24 hours. And even as we are speaking, the drone attacks are continuing. Israel has been maintaining for the past many decades, actually. And now we have just seen a statement coming out from the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He is saying that what Iran has been doing is a big question on the very existence of Israel. That's the reason why we are seeing these drone attacks.
Yeah, and that's not speculation. That's what the Islamic regime in Iran says. Death to America, death to Israel. The reason they wanted a nuclear weapon, and all signals of where we had reached to this point of a covert program that Iran was running despite the United States' work to reach an agreement to zero enrichment. Israel says they had intelligence that was reaching a breakout point. U.S. intelligence said they were within a week of making a bomb. Israel had advanced acknowledgement of that. The delivery of a bomb system and the ballistic missile program that the Prime Minister mentioned as well has been fast forwarding. Iran has actually tried to make an intercontinental ballistic missile. The reasons they want a nuclear weapon isn't for for energy or for even self-defense. It's for continuing their global sponsorship of terrorism, especially to destroy Israel, but to push forward their Islamic ideals. And this preemptive strike was a favor to the world because Iran was clearly close to a bomb. And we've seen in places like Pakistan, when a terrorist regime gets a bomb, what do they think they can do with it?
Yoni, we just heard, John, they're clearly saying that if Iran actually gets those nuclear weapons and if the number of the weapons increase, then we will see a very, very real threat to Israel. The damages that we are seeing, Yoni, at the moment, do you believe in days to come, maybe in the next 24 hours, 48 hours, this retaliation from Iran will increase?
Well, we are expecting the worst and preparing ourselves for worse situations. This is our concept. The entire Israeli system is focusing on the upcoming hours and the upcoming days. We definitely hope that things will be calmer, but the Israeli emergency medical system is stretched out and ready to respond anywhere in the country to any given scenario. We know that we can provide the best medical services to the Israeli public if needed, alongside with, as mentioned, the Home Front Command and the other emergency responding systems in Israel, and of course the Israeli medical system.
Right.
And it's an awkward situation, but we have been here in the past, and Israel will be able to overcome this situation with no doubt, and the Israeli population.
John, coming to you now, do you believe what the United States has been saying, and Donald Trump also has taken to social media and said that he had given Iran 60 days? That was the time to sign the nuclear deal. Do you believe Iran will actually pay heed to what the United States has to say?
Well, clearly they didn't, because Israel's strike was on the 61st day. So there was supposed to be a meeting, but Israel had intelligence that there could be no more waiting, basically, and that Iran would, like we believe, was not negotiating in good faith. And President Trump gave them many warnings that we had to get to a point of a deal, and he's even offering it now after this historic Israel operation that has really put an impact, not just from the 20-plus senior commanders, the 6 nuclear scientists, the ballistic missile launching sites that were hit, to the actual nuclear sites like Natanz and others. The United States, one, is helping and defending Israel, and I'm really proud as an American veteran that they're doing that. Although Israel is very strong, there is no 100% actual Iron Dome or David Sling or Arrow capability, and that's why a few missiles have gotten through. But I think the United States is negotiating in good faith, and President Trump even today has said, we hope that the Islamic regime, he's not talking to the same people because Israel killed those people, but that the Islamic regime will come to the table, because now is the chance to give up the pursuit of a nuclear weapon and end this operation right now.
Yuni, my next question is to you. See, the Iron Dome is something that the world looks at, and a lot of countries look at it with a lot of awe. Do you believe the very fact that the missiles that came in from Iran, they were able to damage Israeli buildings, is that a cause of concern?
Well, it is definitely a cause for concern with regards to the population who lives in these areas. But as we know, hundreds of missiles were launched towards Israel over the past 24 hours. Most of them were intercepted by the Israeli various defense systems and prevented way, way more damages than actually happened. No doubt that those who live in the areas that were damaged are in discomfort, and unfortunately a few people lost their lives and others were injured. But all in all, I think that the Israeli population is behaving well and following very carefully the guidelines of the Home Front Command, and with that simply protect themselves alongside with the Israeli army, who is doing a fantastic work in order to make sure that if there will be a penetration of these missiles to the Israeli and they will hit us, it will be down to the minimum.
Right.
At the same time, our medical services are providing the necessary treatment and even blood through our blood services to the entire Israeli population and to the hospitals.
Right.
I think that facing the amount of hostility that was thrown to or launched towards Israel, we are at the moment in a relatively good position. And we hope that things will hopefully come down in the near future, in the coming hours or days, and we'll be able to get back to our normal lives.
John, my next question is to you. Where will this end? And when will this end? Because that is the question that the world is asking. The retaliation has already begun the last 48 hours. You know, we have seen the skies of both the nations, be it Israel, be it Iran, being lit up because of these drone attacks and the counter attacks that are taking place. But where actually will this stop?
Yeah, I mean, war is uncertain. Israel has stated its clear objectives. It stated it will continue as long as it needs to achieve those objectives. Again, to roll back the Islamic regime in Iran's nuclear and ballistic program. Iran, on the other hand, hasn't issued basically their objectives and their counter strikes. And I want to make sure your audience doesn't view some type of parity in military, basically exchanges here. What Israel did in over 5 waves to eliminate that senior leadership, that missile capability, the air defense capabilities.
You really believe that really would be the end of the regime at the moment, what we are seeing from Israel's side? They are very clearly saying that this was a preemptive strike because they understood that it was Iran that was looking at making sure that the nuclear sites remain as it is, and also making sure that in near future they have the capability to attack on Israel.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is, Israel is very strong, and what Israel just showed is historic on what their capabilities. Over 200, basically, Israeli aircraft, all achieving their objectives. Israel's not the United States. Iran doesn't want that fight. Nobody wants that fight. If they struck a U.S. installation and escalated this, or a U.S. anything, the United States has the capability. But, I mean, Israel's already done a very big job in, 20 senior leaders, the commander of IRGC, commander of the Quds Force. If they made that reckless, fatal mistake, which nobody wants to see, right, it would be the end of the regime. And this is also separation between the Islamic regime in Iran and the people of Iran, the freedom-loving millions of people in Iran that do not support the Islamic regime in Iran. And that's what the Prime Minister was talking about, that this is their chance. So again, most regimes are rational actors and they want their survival, even if they're a terrorist regime.
Right.
If they make that miscalculation, my prediction is that would be the end of the regime.
Right, John and Yoni, thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast. What we are seeing at the moment is the massive escalation that is taking place over the course of the last 48 hours between Israel and Iran.